is Bronze and Modern Gods. It's a bonus episode, and I am John.
And I am Richard.
And we want to welcome you guys. Thanks for joining us. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. Hit like, follow us Facebook and Instagram at Bronze and Modern Gods. You know all that stuff. It's bonus episode time. We're here. It's Friday. We're happy. You've got your mail, some questions, some comments. We're going to address a few of those. And the Instagram Market Watch with Ali from Elite_Comics11. And so, Richard, let's get started with our first viewer mail.
You've got mail.
Okay. My first piece of viewer mail is from Jason Huber. Absolutely love the stack of dooms. I had a stack of Marvel superheroes number 20s that I'm going to be submitting. I got one at a flea market earlier this summer for $22. That is an amazing deal.
Was it coverless and missing like 9 pages?
No, it says, but I think it's like a 4.0 to 5.0 when it comes back from CGC. Yeah, that's a $500-$600 book there. Regardless of the grade, it's too beautiful of a cover to not get encapsulated so that one might display it. I 100% agree. I think that is a awesome cover. Obviously, I've got multiple copies of it. Yeah, I'm submitting my stack to CGC. Looking forward to seeing what they're going to be grading out. I'm expecting them all to be anywhere from low mid to high mid. I don't think there's any 9.0s or higher in this batch. But you know what? They're all valuable and they're all just gorgeous looking books. I couldn't pass up submitting them all. So, yep, good luck with yours too.
Let's take a second and talk about that cover, okay? I think we all agree it is now considered iconic. It always has not been. It's now kind of the Doom cover, and people forget it's by Larry Lieber. Do you know who Larry Lieber is?
No, John. Who is Larry Lieber?
Larry Lieber was Stan Lee's younger brother. And he worked at Marvel. He mostly did the Westerns. He did Rawhide Kid for years, wrote and drew them after Stan and Jack left the Westerns behind for the superheroes. And he was kind of always an also-ran, he wasn't up there with the big artists from the Silver Age of Marvel. And then when Atlas Comics in the mid-1970s started, the former Marvel publisher Martin Goodman tried to break away after his son Chip was passed over as publisher after he sold Marvel. He launched Atlas Comics as they called it Vengeance Incorporated because he was out to bury Marvel. And Larry Lieber came over and did a lot of covers for Atlas. So he was actually working for Marvel's biggest competitor outside of DC in the mid-70s. And Larry's still with us, and I hope he knows the love that cover is getting now.
I hope so too. I would love to meet the gentleman.
I would love to have Larry Lieber on this show. I'm going to have to see if I can make that happen. All right. My first piece of viewer mail is from our Gmail, which is bronzeandmoderngods@gmail.com, strangely enough. And it is from someone who signed it G. Maria. Just wanted to let you guys know that your YouTube videos are the best out there for the comic community. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Others that I watch seem to be more of a hangout and give out crumbs while you guys provide a feast of information. Well, okay, thank you. I just received my Silver Age sized bags and boards, which you guys recommended. I used to buy modern bags and boards all the time. Genius recommendation. Thank you. What G. Maria is referring to is one of our older episodes about how to store your comics. And we let you guys in on a little secret. Don't buy current size or modern size bags and boards. They're way too snug. You risk bending your book. Why would you do that? Just go ahead and go up to standard. I use standard size or Silver Age size. Here is the question for you, G. Maria. Where are you finding bags and boards?
Yeah. Now I can agree to that. They're difficult to come by. Cardboard in general is expensive. I was at my LCS the other day, and he's talking about how the cost of the long boxes and the short boxes has almost doubled just because of the shortage of paper. Not only are bags hard to come by, but give up on trying to find Mylar. I haven't seen a Mylar bag in a shop for probably the last 6-7 months.
No, and if you go on to Amazon and try to buy some My Lights standard size, right now they are $89.99 for a bag of 50.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Thanks, Obama. All right, what's your next piece of your mail?
My next piece of mail is from Mark Wild. Um, we're talking about slabbing. He's saying there's always EGS to slab your PC books. They are a lot cheaper and will get them back to you much faster. Absolutely, there are alternatives to CGC out there that are faster. You can get faster results. But there's a reason why the line at CGC is so long. It's because when you go to look at the resale value of that slab, that you're going to maximize your money by going to CGC. CGC is the accepted standard of the industry. Whether it's justified or not, other people may be just as qualified to grade your books. The industry has decided that CGC is the go-to book, go-to grader. I would love to do CBCS more than I do, but if I have a $100 book that I submit to CGC, it's $100 with CGC and it's $80 with CBCS, and more likely $70 for EGS because it's just not that well known of a name.
And let's also talk about OCD,
Yes.
which we all have. When you're displaying your books behind you, Richard,
I
would it
know. I
would
can
it
see
drive
it
you
from.
nuts to have? Do you have a CBCS there to break up the flow, or is it
It's
all
you can't see. There's two
okay?
CBCSs down
Yeah.
here. They're all there by themselves because they are different from all the CB or CGC books.
So you got CGC, you got CBCS, you got EGS. We all have OCD in different levels. So your tolerance may vary. I have to say, I have no freaking clue what an EGS slab is. This is new to me.
Yeah, EGS is another grading company, just like Halo is another company. There are a number of.
Halo's overseas, right?
Yes, Halo is typically. I think they're out of Australia,
Yeah, that them I've
New
heard of.
Zealand.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. EGS is another company, and you wonder again. The advantage to CGC is you have some financial stability in that company. You wonder, you get your books slabbed by CGC or EGS. Are they going to go out of business next week? And if they go out of business, are your books going to be stuck in in their care? And the slabs you get back, are they going to lose value because no one else is ever going to get EGS books in the future? So it's a risk reward thing, and right now the lowest risk is with CGC.
yeah. That's the way it is. I think we all want to change, but
Yes.
we're also all hesitant to change, which is a big problem.
Yep.
My next piece of your mail is from the Gmail again, and it's from Henry Henry. So nice, they named him twice. John, regarding your post on Instagram, well, if you don't grade comics, how'd you come up with that price? Which was me commenting on people who post things on Facebook or Instagram all the time. I'm not a professional grader, but I want $400 for this book. Well, okay, then how did you come up with that price then if you're not a grader? As mentioned above, I've been trying to learn how to grade, and I watched ETA Nick's
Yep.
how-to guide
Hmm.
several times and still only have a vague idea of what a 4 or a 7.5 or even an 8 would be. I've sent my first batch of books to CGC last year and made a list of what I thought they would grade. Most of them came back higher than my pre-grade,
Good.
but there were some head scratchers. First of all, good for you for doing that. That's the
Hmm.
best way to learn.
Yep.
I make a little spreadsheet and I grade it myself, and here's my predicted grade. And then when it comes in, I look and I say, okay, I got this, or I don't. I had one book pre-graded at 9092, and it came back a 98.
Wow.
All right. Another I had at 9294, and that also came back at 98. I'm not complaining about the gift grades, but being that far off is perplexing. Yes, especially when they don't provide graders notes for some of those higher
Right.
grades. When I list the books, I was planning on pricing them based on sold books in similar conditions, correct?
Hmm.
And listed all the defects in the description. So I would say, Henry, you are better at grading than you think you are. I think you're selling yourself short based on what you're telling me here, that you're grading books at 9294 and they're coming back 98. Sounds to me like you've got a pretty good eye. Where you might be having a struggle is mid grades, like some Silver Age stuff. Like, okay, I've got this Marvel Superheroes 20, and it's got a minor spine split at the bottom during, on the square bound part. That just takes practice, dude. You're doing the right things. Just keep going. You've been doing this a long time, according to the rest of your email. I think you're better than you're giving yourself credit for.
I do,
So,
I do too, and it's to your advantage to be hypercritical when you're submitting books. You know, don't overgrade the books. I would much rather undergrade them and then have them come back higher than assume I've got a slam dunk 9.8 that I'm submitting and it ends up because it's so subjective. That 9.8 candidate comes back as a 9.6 or 9.4. Sometimes that happens. John is right. I think it's the higher grades are actually easier than the
right.
difference between a 4.0 and a 5.0. It's especially in those Silver Age books because there's so many flaws, like spine splits or
Stain on the inside
stain,
back cover that you missed.
right? Subscription creases. There's all kinds of things that you just wonder. It's difficult to quantify, and again, it's very subjective. That grader who gets your book may have different ideas because there's wiggle room in their guidelines, their guidance in terms of grading, and he may have a different idea of what the um, how a particular flaw affects the value of that book.
Bottom line, Henry, you're doing good. Keep it
Yeah,
up.
yep.
You're beating yourself up a little too much there.
I think so. Kudos to you to just jumping in feet first because, like John is right, the more you do it, the better you're going to get.
Exactly. What do you have next?
My next one is from Bronzeville Comics. We're talking about my underrated book pick last week, which was The Superman. DC revisited the tangent line during the 52 and countdown events around 2009.
Ooh, did you know that? I
I
did not.
did not. I did not. So I am going to have to go and find further adventures of Superman because I thought it was an interesting storyline, and I would like to see more of it. So definitely going to try to find it. So thank you very much, Bronzeville Comics, for cluing us in.
So you only have 52 issues for 52 to search through, and you only have 52 issues for Countdown to search through. You know what? Just call Evan and ask him what issues they were.
Oh, that's a great idea. I didn't even think about that. Perfect.
Evan is our DC expert, our friend who is the DC expert, who also texted both Richard and I this week just to say they're killing the Justice League. We will talk about that more on Monday, I think. My last piece of viewer mail is from our friend Joel Comics.
Oh
Joel
yeah.
Comics. Love the show. It's great. I smile every time I listen to your podcast. Well, I like hearing that. Thank you.
Thank you.
You need to do an episode of your own worst comic book or worst slab and discuss why that's in your collection. Maybe you thought it was going to be a hot book and it turned out not to be, or you bought it for the cover. The reason why I say that is when the pandemic started, I had like 10 slabs. Now I have over 150. Join the club, buddy. I think I have a problem. We all do. Anyways, you guys are great. Chat with you later. Thank you very much for this. I actually love this idea. I brought out my worst slab.
Oh yeah.
The show. Let's say worst in air quotes, because everyone's going to see this and go, why? And I love it personally. I understand the concept here is to show something that, why did you buy that, John? So here we go. Get ready. It is Young Men number 21 in a 5.0 with off-white to white pages. A random Marvel Atlas book from the 50s with no superheroes, nothing. It was Young Men was a title that I'm just fascinated by. Who's not fascinated by Young Men, Richard?
I have no idea.
Young Men started off being about kids. It was like a kids book about bullies and just basically slice of life stories. Then it became a war book about 10 issues in. Then it became a hot rod book. It was based around hot rods for a few issues. This is one of the hot rod issues, as you see from the hot rod on the cover. And then with issue 25, it became a superhero book when they revived Namor the Submariner, Human Torch, and Captain America for a quick 5-issue or a quick 3-issue run in Young Men, I believe, 25 through 28, 4 issues. So I've always been fascinated by the title Young Men, because it's just, why would you have a book called Young Men? I guess times were different then. And so it always makes me laugh when I go to a live sale and I see someone selling Young Men. I have to ask, how much for the Young Men? And that's what happened with this particular copy. I saw it on a live sale and I was joking in the chat, and it came down to the point where I had to buy it because the joke had gone so far. So that is why I own a slab of Young Men number 21.
Very good. I actually did not pick one. Maybe for the next show, I'll
Yeah.
ponder that question. Actually, we had a suggestion from our buddy Minor Keys Comics for us to pick the bottom 5 covers in our collection. You know, which comics? Because we picked. Okay, here's our top 5. What are the bottom 5?
Gosh, what are some of the worst covers? I have to have a think on that one. I can't think off the top of my head, but that's a good idea. Well, it is time for us, since we're talking about live sales, to welcome back our friend Ali for another episode of the Instagram Market Watch. And here he is right now. It is Ali from Elite_Comics11 on Instagram. Ali, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
Good.
Doing good.
Everybody, what you do?
Yeah, so we're Elite. It's Elite_Comics11 on Instagram. We are the platform's premier consignment page for comics. So you can head on over and you'll constantly see awesome books coming up for sale. Or if you got a book to sell, DM us. We can help you out. So we like to come on pretty regularly and share, you know, a few of the sales, kind of highlight some sales that happened on via our page. So we're back today to do that. So
before you get started, though, I'm looking at your page this week and I see something that kind of like it appealed to me in a weird way as a nerd and a tech geek, as well as a comic book collector. You're taking Bitcoin for some select books now?
Yeah, so we're a broker page, consignment page. So we sell, you know, for sellers. And so, yes, we rolled out a new feature, a new offer this past week where, yes, on selected offerings, we have sellers that will take cryptocurrency. So those posts are designated that way. And yes, you can pay for those physical books with cryptocurrency.
Richard, your Dogecoin and your Shinu Ibu?
What about my Vive gems? You take Vive
yeah,
gems?
do you take VV gems? I got a lot of those that I can't cash out.
Hey, there's a flexibility. If we have a seller and they want to identify a particular coin, we're happy to consider working with that. So yeah, definitely pretty flexible there.
Well, right. You know, the cash out option on VV is coming soon. Wink, wink. All right, so that is pretty cool. That's interesting. But more interesting are the 2 books you have to feature this week. Very timely, this first one.
Yeah, so the first one is Marvel Spotlight 28. The first solo Moon Knight. We had it in an Elite CGC 9.8 with white pages, sold on our VR page for $4,500.
There are only 78 9.8s on the census, and I don't know out of that 78 how many of them have white pages. The last sale on 9.8 on GPA was last May, which is, as we know, a lifetime ago, and that was for $3,500. The seller picked the peak time to put that up there.
I have to say, though, this book 3 years ago was nowhere near that value. It's amazing how much this has shot up, and it's based on the news of the TV show that's coming out.
What'd you guys think of the trailer?
Richard seems like he has a. Go ahead, no, Richard. What do you think?
I can't say I really thought much of it. I needed more meat, so.
I have to wonder if it. I hope it's just a teaser, because it's not. It's not the Moon Knight that we know with the split personalities. Maybe it is. Maybe they're just not going to reveal it, and it's going to be a surprise. I'm hoping that's what this is. They don't want to tell us too much, which is better. The costume looks great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the special effects look good. The mood looked good. I understand it's different than what we expect, but yeah, I mean, you can't completely blame them for not spoiling the whole thing on the trailer.
Exactly.
Let's give it a watch, right?
Yeah, the one thing about Marvel Spotlight 28 and this sale is, you guys know there's a 30-cent variant for this book
Mhm.
Oh,
as
that's
well.
right.
Can
Yeah.
you
Oh my
imagine
goodness.
what a 9.8 white pager 30-cent variant would go for? There's only 6 of those on the census.
Wow.
Wow, I forgot
So
about that. Yeah.
I know. All right. This next one, I'm gonna sit back and watch Richard's eyes explode.
All right, so let's switch it up a little bit. Classic Golden Age horror book, Black Cat Mystery Comics number 50, sold via Elite Comics 11 in a CGC 3.0 with off-white to white pages for $8,500.
That is a face-melting price.
Oh, that's bad.
I know. The last sale on GPA was last August, again, 6 months plus ago, for $6,000. So throw that out the window. This book, I mean, look at it. It's always going to be in demand. I know, Richard, you have lusted for this book in your heart.
I have. And every time I lust for it, every time I search for it, it's gone up. So it's one of those books that's just not attainable for me at this point.
Well, you have expensive tastes. You're
I
like,
do.
you want Louis Vuitton, and while you're shopping at Ross, dress for less. You know, I don't know what you're expecting. You got to pay to play, buddy.
Well, on that point, I do want to go ahead and mention that we're trying to develop better want lists this year. So if somebody is kind of looking like Richard for Black Cat or whatever book, definitely drop Elite Comics 11 a line. Let us know what you're looking for. We're going to try to track that a little better this year and
good.
find people some books that they're looking for.
I have several books that I would love for you guys to keep an eye out for.
Yeah.
When are you going to start accepting uranium as payments?
As soon as you post a book with us and say you want uranium.
Maybe not me, maybe someone else, but that's good to know. Remind everyone, Ali, where they can find you.
Yeah, head over to @elite_comics11 on Instagram. We're happy to help.
And
Awesome.
again, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
All right. See you next week.
All right. Thank you, Ali. Bitcoin, Richard. Are you going to take Bitcoin?
I think I'll pass for now.
I don't know. This is intriguing to me. I want to see how it goes.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the volume as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is another bonus episode for you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And make sure you follow us at Facebook and Instagram at Bronze and Modern Gods. And Richard, if they like this video, what should they do?
They should follow, subscribe, hit the little notification bell so that you get announced when we have future shows.
Ding dong. All right. We will see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Everybody stay safe. Leave comments. We enjoy the comments.